for Greenville. All attention here today, though, on the pitch in front of us. It's Union Omaha, it's Greenville Triumph, and folks, it's up next. Don't go anywhere. Welcome all to the hues of fading spring sun in South Carolina, where tonight the Upstate invites the team perched atop the league. Union Omaha is in town to commence their title defense. Greenville has what they think might be an ace in the form of Connor Evans, who flashed to the fore with a splendid debut just 4 days ago. And for the visitors, Max Schneider has the potential to be a key man in a refreshed midfield for the title holders. It's the USL League One, and it's live. Locked and loaded here in Palmetto. There is a star-studded entourage on hand here for this one between Greenville Triumph SC and Union Omaha. Howdy folks, I'm Peyton Gallagher with Ross Davenport, and as we look forward into this team and this game, it's a pair of sides that are quite familiar, facing off last year in the USL League One playoffs. Union Omaha coming out victorious.
Yeah, this rivalry goes back to what should have been back-to-back championship game meetings in 2020-21, but it's been all Omaha of late. Greenville has never actually beaten Omaha in Greenville. The last win in the series was way back, 4 meetings after that win with draw. But listen, it's still a rivalry, right, Peyton?
Absolutely. Omaha was the only team to beat Greenville all 3 times they saw them a year ago. But these teams are very different than when they last saw each other in this playoff bout just about 5 months previous. This is how the rosters have shaken down. Big departures for both sides of this matchup here today, Ross.
Yeah, not a ton of departures, but it's key departures, right? Pedro Dolabella led that midfield, and Omaha, Lion McKinnon, Golden Boot now after the USL Championship. But they've also brought some players in as well to make up for it. We won't see all of them tonight, though, will we, Peyton?
Yeah, we will not. There are a lot of injuries to get to. We will get to them as we go on, but here are a couple of players that we know are going to be performing here in this game today. Of course, none more important potentially for Greenville Triumph than their number 9, Leo Castro, coming off a year where he scored 7 times and set the high bar for returners for Rick Wright in terms of goals scored coming back to this Greenville side this season. On the other side of things, Ross, Aaron Gomez has been a real trouble man for everybody who's lined up against him as of late.
Yeah, the 30-year-old Mexican, he came to Omaha with over 100 USL Championship appearances under his belt, 4 goals in the final 5 League One regular season appearances last year. He even changed roles during the season. He can contribute as a creator as well as a scorer and play really anywhere in the midfield or in the front 1 or 2, depending how Dom Casiano lines him up.
Of course, for Aaron Gomez, a goal and an assist in knocking Greenville out of the playoffs a year ago. That is something to feast on ahead of this game, that degree of drama. We set to step aside. Ronaldinho's in the building. They're breaking ground on the new ground for Greenville. All attention here today, though, on the pitch in front of us. It's Union Omaha. It's Greenville Triumph. And, folks, it's up next. Don't go anywhere.
The lottery isn't about jackpot winners. It's about investing in our students. Even when it began in 2002, it was lottery proceeds that helped fund new technology initiatives in schools across South Carolina. And when students booted up those screens for the first time, they discovered a lifelong love of learning that shaped them into the professionals and people they are today. When you play the lottery, the real winners are always our students. After all, education is our middle name.
This just in, Union Omaha Soccer is back, and the Owls are kicking off the new season here at Werner Park. Whether it's the heart-stopping action, delicious concessions, or your Owls, the 2024 USL League One champions electrify the pitch. Ring in the new season with the defending champions on Saturday, May 10th, as we celebrate our 5th trophy in club history. You don't just watch the action, you are the action, and we can't wait to see you. One city, one club. One means all.
Welcome to Wood Creek Dental, where dental care is a family tradition. For over 40 years, we are proud to be a family-owned practice serving the community of Greenville, South Carolina. At Wood Creek Dental, we believe in quality care and exceptional service. Our experienced dentists and dedicated staff are committed to your oral health. We've invested in modern technology and have created a relaxing atmosphere for your comfort and peace of mind. We prioritize your experience in our calm and caring atmosphere. Our commitment to providing you and your family with exceptional service is at the heart of everything we do, and our patient-centered approach builds relationships based on trust and confidence. Experience the difference for yourself. Wood Creek Dental. Dental care from our family to yours.
This match is presented by KW Beverage, and Ross, here are the 11s for both sides for Greenville. The headline, availability.
Yeah, keeper Rick Wright, no Rapapa Mensah, no Siobhan Marshi came up sick earlier today. Marco Gonzalez also with the hamstring injury, but Ivan Ajakwa, he'll perhaps make his debut tonight. He's healthy after getting over the shoulder injury. Ricardo Robles also healthy. Evan Lee and DJ Benton in for Gonzalez, and Sebastian Velasquez on the bench. We might not see him tonight. He pulled his hammy on Saturday.
For Union Omaha, group preparing to chase another championship for Dom Casiano. A couple key omissions as well.
Yeah, the big news here, no Rashid Nuhu in goal. Russell Sheila will make his Omaha debut. Not sure what the deal is with Rashid Nuhu, but we do have a bunch of newcomers starting. Mehdi Wamari, Kemi Amish, Sheila Martinez, Brent Coleman, and Russell Sheila, as we just mentioned, will all make their debuts for Dom Casiano.
We think it could be a back 4, it could be a back 3. Dom Casiano is a sly fox, to say the least, when it comes to the tactics, so it will be something to keep an eye on, how it plays early. But we are underway on a day where Greenville introduced their new home and broke ground on their new facility. They kick off against the champions of the USL League One.
So did mention no Lagos Kunga. I thought he would be a real threat today with his dribbling ability. Led the league successful dribbles last season, not in the 18 tonight either. Doesn't look like they might come out with a back four, as you said. Peyton, perhaps Dianikov as a true right back tonight.
Without swing. At the near post, knocked away. Russell Shealy avoids an early test. Omaha set out on the break. Russell Shealy coming in, getting this opening day start. Didn't see a lot of action last year with Northern Colorado, only a handful of league appearances, mostly coming in relief of Lalo Delgado after an injury.
Lalo Delgado with a bit of an auspicious start to the season on Saturday with that, I think, in that goal from distance from Omar Hernandez.
Today's weather is spotless. It's presented by Fox Carolina, 77 degrees. It is perfect playing weather for two of the best in the league.
Yeah, I think the crowd will be already fired up by the appearance of a certain former Brazilian star in attendance tonight, obviously co-owner of Greenville.
Might be able to say that, yeah.
The big news today, the groundbreaking earlier. We'll perhaps have some shots of that later.
Of course, the man referenced is the famed Ronaldinho, one of the owners of Greenville Triumph, brought into the group at the end of last season. His first opportunity to watch this side play in person. The boy who dared to smile and brought us all with him. Malone. It's picked off. Trying to make a quick impression. Greenville as they break out. It was Benton who got tangled up in midfield, and away come Union Omaha. Ron Gomez.
Yeah, Benton, the guy, he has the pace and athleticism to play right back his natural spot, but can also push up to the right wing, although his only right midfield appearance for Chattanooga was back in 2022 in a 5-1 win over Greenville.
So a bit of a fascination when we got the team sheet. His deployment, it appears to be on the right side of that attacking three. What do you think the logic is there for Rick Wright?
Well, I assume Siobhan Marsh was supposed to start this game, came down with an illness earlier today, so likely a late change there. Obviously, Ricardo Robles probably not fit to go more than perhaps a half hour. Having a jack with a rookie. He's played his college ball here at Furman. We may see him later. He's a real Swiss Army knife for Rick Wright, but yeah, neither of those two likely ready to start just yet. So Benton didn't play a ton for Chattanooga last year, but a big factor in that North Carolina championship a couple of years ago. Excuse me, for Knoxville last year, excuse me.
Both in Tennessee.
Yes, not a mistake you want to make though, as you and I both have spent time in East Tennessee.
Throwing to come. Greenville entering today, coming off a draw against Westchester SC 1-1, a pair of penalties in that one. That right the box score. Union Omaha, their opening match of the season in this staggered start to the year. Only a handful of teams in full swing at the weekends. Gomez prodding one through Schneider. And now space expanding in mid-park. Chelo Martinez. Akoff providing a supporting run. Amish. Hounded by Zakowski, who wins that exchange and does so cleanly.
Amish, an interesting pickup, 24-year-old. Played his college ball at Campbell in the Carolinas. Once captain the French U17 national team. Could be an interesting little pickup.
Evans walked along to Benton, who gets trucked for his troubles. Nothing more than a throw to come. The center official today is John Mato, joined by Austin Holt and Marcus Moss running the lines.
Made a couple of debatable penalty decisions here on Saturday, one for each team. Hopefully things go a little smoother today for our man in the middle. Talking to Rick Wright midweek, he didn't think either penalty was a penalty. Good to hear honesty from Rick.
All comes out in the wash. I believe the term the kids say is ball don't lie.
That's true.
Akoff in a tight spot. Able to swing around Zakowski and bound to the foregrounds.
Obviously had some strange goals in this series, especially last year. Tyler Pollock with a pair of own goals in one game. We had Oliver Hull's little chest down to Pedro Dolabella. It was the difference in the first meeting last year between these two sides. Rick Wright felt he probably should have won at least one of those 2 games. Obviously took the lead in the semi-final before falling in the end.
Swinging into the attack. Walmsley taking it to the end line, and I think he may have struggled to identify exactly where that end line was as the ball just lapsed over that byline and went out for a goal kick. But you make a great point, though. It was very tight margins between Greenville and Omaha a year ago, and a lot of self-inflicted errors undid Greenville, at least in the 2 regular season games.
Yeah, as you mentioned in the pregame, this rivalry really began back in 2021, but Greenville just, for some reason, just haven't been able to get things going against Omaha here in Greenville, whether here at Paladin Stadium or at Legacy Early College. Is his chance.
Knapp trying to cut one back in for Gomez. A shoot away for a corner kick.
See Brandon Knapp getting forward from his defensive midfield position. See him and Max Schneider patrol. Both of these teams going with sort of a 4-2-3-1 tonight.
Again, certainly worth tracking throughout the contest exactly how both sides actually play beyond just the realm of concept.
Right, they play. It's a very different system between the two. There's no doubt about that.
Swirled in by Ostrom, just nodded away. Knapp tries a second entry. Unable to make it stick is Union Omaha. Similar tempo to the start of this game compared to that of the Westchester match at the weekends.
I think this one will be played at a slightly higher pace. Rick Wright was saying Westchester were really compacting the middle, forcing them wide, which can be tough in these 4-2-3-1s unless your fullbacks are really bombing forward, which Connor Evans certainly did on that right side. Tyler Polak will pick and choose his times to get forward.
Sees
Don't
the
have
ball
that
feed here.
Lion McKinnon out wide anymore. I mean, he wasn't even in the Orange County squad. I was very disappointed, Peyton. Didn't see him on Saturday. They didn't have trouble scoring goals there without him, that's for sure.
They got along okay without him, winning 4-2 against Oakland. I think in due time on that one. I don't think he's not in the plans of Danny Stone, but right now, captivating the attention. It's DJ Benton. Tries the cross early, it's pinballed out.
We've seen offensively minded players make the move to the USL Championship, and it's taken them a little while to get going. Greg Hurst, obviously, former Omaha man. Didn't take him long, but it did take him a little bit to get up to speed in the USL Championship. It is a big step for many.
Tight areas, Omaha unleashing the press. This is really well-worked stuff. Greenville flaring to the other end, not to get over the head of Akoff, though.
Nice ball from Connor Evans, though. He really has the poise of somebody older than a rookie, that's for sure.
I think the big thing you might be able to say about him early is there's not much hesitation in his game, especially for a young player.
No, it's certainly one of the big questions Rick Wright has mentioned to us twice now about in the postseason last year, especially in that Omaha game, how much they missed the injured Nate Schultz at that right back spot. They seem to have found a gem in Connor Evans. Completely shut down Jonathan Bolaños last week. Only had 2 crosses and 2 touches inside the Greenville box for a man that completely ran rampant in League One his last time here.
Evans won 3 tackles in that game, 4 of his 5 ground duels as well. Also got in 6 crosses. That real two-way threat. Looks like he's playing ahead of Benton to start this game, though.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think it might just flip-flop a little bit, I think.
Malone. New man, Brent Coleman, 34 years of age, a seasoned professional at the MLS level. Omaha native as well. He was born there, ended up moving away, came back to Nebraska, played 4 years at Creighton, spent some of that time with Dion Akoff as well. Shealy clears his lines. Scrapped back by Greenville.
I think to keep an eye on Connor Evans. He's very two-footed and can shoot from distance. Interesting to see if he can get around that Omaha box and let one loose.
He did have 6 goals in 3 years at Stanford. Right now it's served in, headed towards goal, and it's biteless off the noggin of Leo Castro, but it's a good move nonetheless.
Yeah, been a bright start for the home team here. Brent Coleman, the veteran pickup from the USL Championship, in the right place at the right time there, replacing Luca Mastro-Antonio. We're seeing 4-back formation for now. Brent Coleman from Omaha, 8-year career in the MLS. Minnesota United, Nashville.
He watches his side move to the other end. Trying to summon it down in the area. Served in with swing, punched away by Rankenberg. The net's open, it's clawed off the line. Brilliant defending by Fricke, stabbing in with the tackle. It's out for a corner.
Golden chance for the visitors, and Brandon Fricke was almost facing backwards on the line. We'll see it again here. A lovely ball in. Rankenberg came fishing, didn't catch anything. Fricke in the right place at the right time, and they had to backheel it out of there. Greenville getting away with one there. Kimi Amish trying to buy the PK. Ref wasn't trying to sell the PK, excuse me. Ref wasn't buying it.
In by Ostrom. It's well placed. Second bite at the apple from Schneider, and it's out for a goal kick. Welcome to the 2025 USL kickoff presented by Terminex. Throughout the month of March, the USL will be kicking off across the country. Join us for the all action of this league on ESPN and CBS Sports platform all month long.
I mentioned we talked, I'll get to that in a second.
Here's Knapp, threaded forward. Gomez pinpoints the ball, sent skying, but put right in venomous position. Mehdi Walmsley, the one who's unable to provide the final product.
We did have a good chat with Dom Castiata during the week, as we always do. Always enjoyed the first chat of the year. Did have an update on Mishak Jerome. You see the former Union Omaha man who was hardly injured in a house explosion. He said he has finished his skin grafts now and about to start rehab in Omaha, so that's great. He has to learn to walk, get back on his feet again. Last operation was about a week ago. Dom said they're really trying to support him as best they can as a club, so shout out to Mishak if he's watching tonight. Continue in his progress from that nasty incident.
Really hoping he's somewhat out of the woods. It's such a tough thing as this is flared towards the target.
DJ Benton getting caught in field there, getting caught in possession, not something that you can do at the edge of your box against Omaha. You always seem to have 2 or 3 players right around you, ready to pounce.
It was Gomez who had the shot, but just finishing up on Meshach Jerome. It is such a tough thing to work through. The returns and prognosis, though, are positive as this ball is bounded into the box, hooked away. Lee has a go and takes it toe.
Brave last-ditch tackle there by Blake Malone, leaving his feet in the box. Ben Zakowski almost looked he had too much time and space, going straight through the channel there. Couldn't find the shot. Evan Lee did, but didn't find the target. Evan Lee didn't start last week. He was out of town a little bit before that match against Westchester, so it came off the bench, obviously a little earlier than he wanted to, or Rick Wright wanted him to, due to the injury to Michael Gonzalez.
Yeah, it wasn't much the rest that they were hoping for. Forced into action only 8 minutes into that game. Player that was playing so well at the back end of last season, trying to carry that form into 2025.
Yeah, Gonzalez listed as week to week by the Triumph. Sebastian Velasquez also picked up a hammy and went off at halftime. He's a little closer to returning. I'm not sure we'll see him tonight. Depends how this game goes, I would say.
Where is that coming in from?
Battled around and boxed about midfield. Ducking away on the far touchline. It's out for a throw. Actually, going to be a free kick for Greenville.
Referee having a word with Max Schneider there. There's a big physical presence in the middle of Max Schneider. Key component of this team's title run last year. Now with the talented Chelo Martinez ahead of him. Trying to fill in that Dolabella role a little bit. Obviously a bit of a very different player than Pedro Dolabella.
You can join the Triumph family and save with the digital coupon book. Scan the QR code on your screen. Get a piece of that action. This is a program in Greenville Triumph that's such a big part of the community. Intertwined with several local businesses. As a quarter hour in, it's Union Omaha trying to hatch the right plan ahead of this free kick.
A couple of shots each apiece, one on target each as well. Possession in favor of Greenville, as it was for most of last week against Westchester. Rick Wright said they didn't create enough quality chances. Westchester did, obviously that roster is pretty low there as well, missing some injured guys and unavailable guys last week, Westchester, when they came in here to Paladin Stadium, but produced a gutsy performance in their first ever League One contest.
That was the big point for him, though. He was, Rick Wright, this being a little bit disappointed that they weren't going to get the opportunity, Greenville, to show off maybe some of the new pieces they've added in the attack against this Union Omaha group. But how does he crack that code today and try and manufacture something in the final third?
Man, it's a tough one. We thought we were going to have Siobhan Marsh available. Rapapa Mensah still not. He only showed up last week. So we knew that was a potential issue. It's difficult when you've planned to have a certain lineup and then it hasn't come through. Well, listen, I think every team has to deal with the problems of visas and early season health. I think tonight it'll just be a question of just getting the legs into this game after Saturday's tough contest and having to go to the bench if necessary. Mentioned Ricardo Robles out there, having a Jaguar as well. Right, very excited about the youngster from England. That one I think is out of play.
Keen eye. Goal kick.
It's that referee eye. Some people may disagree with it at times.
I was about to say. Arthur Rankenberg coming off a very strong performance, now firmly wearing the #1 shirt, was excellent against Westchester as Greenville start to build out.
For Greenville after this, though, is they have a long gap until their next USL League One game, which doesn't come till Saturday, March 29th, the third of 5 straight home games to start the season. Obviously, that a result of plenty of teams in this league now with, we'll call it winter trouble, Peyton. I know Omaha had a recent blizzard. Watch out.
A storm might be brewing here. Knocked along to Wamray, who is going to tilt this one beyond the frame. It's out for a corner kick. Omaha turning up the temperature, knocking at the door. That's another corner coming. They scored on 11 corner kicks, a league high a year ago.
Yeah, Benny Wamray, guy coming in with some serious scoring talent. MLS Next Pro, 12 goals there for Chattanooga FC last season.
See if he might not make an impact on the set piece. It's taken quickly. Martinez back to Ostrom. It was another well-placed ball that will just skip out of touch. It's another corner.
You know how dangerous Omaha can be from corners, Peyton. You had a good nugget about that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a calling card for Dom Casciato. As mentioned, they scored on 11 last year, also topped the league in terms of headed goals and set-piece goals. This belongs to Max Schneider. An in-swinger. Overcooked a bit.
Yeah, not the delivery they were looking for there. On shoulder height, Brandon Fricky, Zane Bubb. Castro, you always come back on the set pieces and help out as well. But listen, height's not everything when it comes to set pieces. Stay goal side, one to defend.
You've got the link on your screen right now. to the Greenville Triumph store if you want to get a hold of maybe the swag that you saw Ronaldinho wearing pre-match. That's the place to go.
I think they might sell a few of those sweaters tonight. After seeing that legend wearing it. Tom Castellano had a good story about Ronaldinho for his 21st birthday. He went to see Real Madrid versus Barcelona, and he was watching Ronaldinho warming up with Deco and just marveling that the Deco couldn't handle Ronaldinho's passes. They did too much dip on them. They were too precise. They were right at him, but he just couldn't control it. And here's a concerning view for Greenville.
For a side that's already labored by injury this early in the year, this does not look a promising sight.
Might be Pascal Corvino, I have a feeling. Can't see.
I think you might be right, Ross. Almost looked like he started to hobble and wobble his way back into defense and just went down when the ball went out of play.
He's clearly in some pain, holding his head. He can't sit up. Now trying, but not sure if it's a back issue or what. But Corvino into some discomfort.
Not a lot of depth in the middle of the park right now for Rick Wright. See Chapo Herrera calling for a substitution.
Another first half injury for Rick Wright to deal with. Carlos Anguiano, probably the like-for-like substitution in the middle of the park. Anguiano had to go 45 minutes last week. Let's see if we can see what happens. You can see he's already limping there. Pascal Corvino. Another one in the training room. It's Pascal Corvino clearly in no condition to continue.
Really good look at that from our crew here working the game today. Always get a touch more concern when it's a non-contact situation like that. As for the time being, it will be Greenville digging in to defend with only 10 men.
Right, I'm sure trying to get somebody ready. Corvino, Anguiano, the likely choice, more of a defensive option than Corvino. Rick Wright was talking about Carlos Anguiano this week, how he wants him to pass the ball forward a little quicker, be a little more adventurous.
Corner coming over the gloves of Rankenberg.
Second time tonight, Rankenberg's comfortable and knocked out there. He got away with it again. Tyler Pollack all the way on the right-hand side of the field from his left-back spot.
Chelo Martinez, who's down for Union Omaha. Here is that collision. Just a bit of a bang, and you just saw that strike right on that high ankle area.
Yeah, Tyler Pollack hit his hand first and then just clumsy from Pollack. Nothing too reckless in that. He just went to kick out the ball and the ball was gone, and Chelo Martinez was there instead.
It's been physical from the off, starting to exact a certain toll from both teams. There's Tyler Pollack, who, despite having never had an own goal in his entire professional career, we're talking about 100+ games.
Don't remind him.
Regular season game last year had a pair of them against Union Omaha own goals. The most in a single contest, not only in USL League One history, USL Championship history as well. It's never happened multiple times to one player. Unfortunately for Mr. Pollack, did in that game there.
Yeah, it's good to see him get healthy again. Last season, missed a few games in 2023, but he can play absolutely anywhere still. Left back, center back, even push up to wing back if needed. It's the first signing in team history, still sticking around. Along with Evan Lee, who came over from FC Cincinnati with John Harkes.
I do believe he found a degree of revenge in the postseason, as he had an assist, if I'm not incorrect on that, in the playoff match, as this ball is served in. Not done away with. Rankenberg lost the beating of it again, and it's just poked away and out for another corner.
Gunther Rankenberg with a major case of wanderlust in this game. He's number 3 now. That one almost ended up in the back of the net, just not looking like a confident man at the moment. This one, his back post, it was well struck. Rankenberg, wasn't a ton of traffic in front of him.
And again, this one just swoops over the line. But you see exactly why set pieces are such a strength of Union Omaha. The delivery, the height, the heat that they've been able to supply in so far. And it's certainly a lethal weapon for them.
Probably smelling the fear a little bit of Rankenberg not controlling his box at all, certainly 6-yard box anyway so far tonight.
Almost can have a compounding effect whenever a team like this might smell a little bit of blood in the water. Settled in mid-park. Amish just trying to step away. A little bit of skill as he goes down and the foul is given.
Kenny Amish actually spent some brief time in North Carolina across the border playing for Asheville City. Back to France and played for a bit, now back in the Carolinas. He was very good at Huntsville, MLS Next Pro as well.
Ball goes bounding out over the end line. That ball is a Select ball, and Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. From the Academy to the big league, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com. The latest Select product specials and more. Select is the player's choice. Just watch the way Greenville players are going in for tackles. You can tell there might be a little bit more in the bloodstream considering what took place a year ago. What a touch from Ostrom. Couldn't provide the ball to meet the moment prior. Schneider. Another foul is awarded. You get the sense that John Motto might just be trying to get a bit of a lasso on this one.
Yeah, I'm surprised we didn't see a card there for Chapo Herrera. That was a crunching challenge from behind. Chapo Herrera, certainly known for his no-nonsense challenges. Here's another look, oof, on the back of the heel too.
That is a guy who's not afraid of much.
No, and Greenville was so much better with him than without him last season. Missed a good chunk of time with injury, as did Sebastian Velasquez in the middle of the park.
Sent soaring to the back post, trying to square it was Blake Malone, clearing the lines. You make a great point on Chapo Herrera. Here is what the returns yielded: 11-2-4 when he did play last year in the league, 0-2-3 without. Covered there by Brandon Fricke. So a half hour in, early impressions, any tactical takeaways?
Yeah, listen, the last 10 minutes have been a little stop-start with fouls and injuries, but Omaha starting to put the pressure on. They started, I thought they might come out the gate a little quicker than they did. Greenville had the better of the first 15 minutes, but Omaha, you can see them just starting to push as they do. Push it a little further and further forward as this half's gone on.
Good look there on Max Schneider, Jello Martinez, those who will be tasked with running things for Dom Casciato, providing some control to a side that, without hesitation, you would say craves control.
And once again, Greenville with the early forced substitution. And they wouldn't have practiced much since Saturday, but they were certainly at least tried to practice with the 11 they were going to come out with. And once again, Rick Wright's had to tweak things early. There's Dom Casciato in his nice white t-shirt.
It is a hydration break taking place right now. And with the tempo of the game so far, you would think this is a good opportunity to dial in the tactics, as this hydration break is brought to you by Fox of Carolina. Fox, good to provide the weather report ahead of the game. 77 degrees at kickoff. Still not quite into that sweltering southern heat yet of the summer, but it's not comfortable.
It's coming. Talked about the Greenville bench a little earlier. Omaha with plenty of talent on the bench as well. Joe Giardo, new signing Prosper Kasim. Nice little pickup there. Certainly two of the more attacking options for Dom Casciato to go to later if need be. Obviously, we've got US Open Cup coming up next week. Coaches will be thinking about that and preparing their rotations a little bit. Obviously, not full rotations at the moment for either side. Never a good way to start the season.
Teams taking back to the field.
As Greenville will take on Kemiamisha's former side, Asheville City. I think it's the first round. I think it is the official first round. I get confused with the qualifying rounds, and I think it's the first official round.
Blissful chaos of the cup.
Can't wait. That game will be at Asheville City on the 18th, so next Tuesday.
Beyond that, for Greenville Triumph, they continue a record 5 consecutive game league homestands with matches against Spokane Velocity, the other member of the USL League One final. Union Omaha, of course, playing here today. And then up next beyond that will be Charlotte Independent. So stout competition out of the gate for Rick Wright and company.
Omaha, on the other hand, will travel to Colorado to take on Flatirons Rush of USL League Two. Always fun when the smaller sides get to host, great for their fans.
Gomez was looking to take a bite at that. It's beaten away by Benton.
A bit of flow back to this match.
Lofted in. Walmrey pinned up in the corner, trying to provide a degree of physicality that maybe has been absent to the number 9 for Union Omaha. That time maybe a bit too energetic, excited to get into the tackle as the whistle is given. Walmrey, 6 foot, 178. 110 professional appearances for him. 30 goals and 16 assists in that period. Had a hard time though, Walmrey, so far getting involved in the game. Greenville have done a nice job of preventing service. Tossed in by Akoff. Ball is aimed in at Walmrey. Off the chest there of an incoming Chelo Martinez, and up to it is Gunther Rankenberg to snuff any danger. Feels like it's been forever since Greenville got out of their own half. Schneider latching on. Room for Akoff to whittle away. Ball caught up underneath his foot. And another foul. This time it's Zukowski that hits the deck after winning the ball off Akoff.
Yeah, good foul there by the veteran. Not letting Greenville get that transition going the other way. Certainly more of a counter-attacking team last year than they were under John Harkes.
Talked about the impact of Chapa Herrera and how much he elevated the side. Akoff, a similar type of involvement for Union Omaha, and another foul is given, this time against Leo Castro.
The fans getting a little frustrated at the amount of fouls being given away, but they've all been pretty legitimate.
Also see you scrambling down the stats book to try and find the precise number, but assuredly it's been a lot on both teams.
We're getting close to double digits, that's for sure. I think that may have been the 10th. Leo Castro, a guilty party that time.
He is a physical force. That is what he brings when they try to play those long balls. Has that ability to knock it down, something that Don Casciato was I guess you might say he was voicing his concern about that and what it provides to this Greenville side.
Yeah, the question for Greenville is, if things aren't working through Castro, where do you go? For the chance creation side of things, Ben Zukowski had a good preseason.
In by Akoff, bending in a nap, it's blocked on the way there. And Zukowski leaks out. Of that, actually, Connor Evans, who plays the ball into the path of Castro! take a bow. The goal stands. Leo Castro, a touch of class.
Not perhaps how we expected Leo Castro to score. Russell Shealy perhaps has to be questioned with his positioning on this one. Leo Castro looked up. It's a ball from Connor Evans. It was a lovely ball. Russell Shealy completely in no man's land. Thought about coming for it, decided not to. And as a result, he's left standing in the middle of his box, watching the ball go over his head and into the back of the net.
The audacity to take that first time like that.
You can see Blake Malone telling Russell Shealy to get back in his goal, but by that point it was far too late. I think even Ronaldinho would have been proud of that one himself.
I was just about to say, we saw Leo Castro getting a couple photographs with the great one before the game, and I think that point may have been in the general direction. We talked about the lack of end product chance creation. That will get it done. Throttled along by Anguiano. Slide draw pass in pursuit of Sikowski. Swept up by Ostrom. Didn't get all the way red. Castro is playing with his tail up now. Ball fumbled about the midfield area. Now Amish. Around him is Akoff. Instead he cuts infield. And scrapes the sky with a switch to Ron Gomez, who can't quite tame it. Pressured out of touch by Benton, and it's going to be a throw-in.
Yeah, Russell Shealy, he really hasn't been a full-time keeper since he was in college.
Part of a couple of great teams on the roster at Syracuse. Part of a College Cup side. Not his proudest moment there to allow the go-ahead goal for Omaha. Omaha did score first in 2 of the 3 meetings a year ago and failed to claim victory in any of them, so Omaha will not be uncomfortable in this context.
Certainly had some quality chances in this first half. XG of 0.38 compared to Greenville's 0.07. That tells you how much Upton thought that first goal was good. That goal was going to go in. Still plenty of time for Omaha to figure things out. Dom Casiato, always a thinking man during the games, tweaking things as he goes.
Anguiano able to punch that away. Just a note on Dom Casiato, you mentioned the tactical nous. The away winning percentage, something that stood out to me, Ross, in the build-up to this match. He's won about 59% of away matches since arriving with Los Pujos. As this ball is angled in towards Castro, who is off balance as he met it. Schneider will whip it away. The next best mark in terms of away winning percentage in this league's history as the foul is given is Rick Wright, and that's at 50%. So it's a bit astonishing what Dom Casiato has been able to accomplish these first couple years with Union Omaha.
And listen, people talk about the potential home field advantage playing at Werner and the tight pitch, but yeah, Dom's been superb on the road. Greenville haven't been great at home over the last couple of seasons either. Still seeking their first ever win here against Omaha. They're nearly halfway there. That is a long way to go against this side like this, even with the changes and half the team featuring new players tonight for Omaha.
Flicked along.
Sikowski and Evans now flipping wings. Pratt may have seen something.
Ball flowed in the direction of Leo Castro. A little bit clumsy there at the back from Blake Malone. It's a throw coming for Greenville. Anguiano gonna fight for it. Tidy on the ball as always. Fricky. Darting in for it was Akoff. Didn't quite secure. Now it's Lee battling for custody. Calm confidence on the ball from Los Bujos. Amish shuffling in. Lashing it to the near side of the pitch. Gomez as it returned to him. Ostrom wrapping around Benton, getting the ball in. Nobody's there at the back post. Ducked out. It's a corner coming. Soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek. Your ticket to great seats.
Plenty of Triumph fans will get their tickets for the Asheville City game next week. Always great to go to the away games. Not a particularly long trip across the border.
In by Ostrom. Reichenberg able to apply the knuckle. Hit toward the target and didn't miss by much, just lingering outside the post.
Reichenberg finally getting a fist to one. Wasn't the strongest of fists. Good delivery.
What do you think is making it so tough for him to get clean connection on the ball?
That one had a little bit of traffic.
Yeah.
There was a little bit of traffic there to get past Lamani with the spectacular overhead kick. We had to pause for a second to see if that one was going to go in. Reichenberg watched it go past his left-hand post.
I'd imagine a less than comfortable moment for him as the ball trickled beyond him. Away by Reichenberg. A scuffle for it in mid-park. Slung into Gomez, who does well to settle. Couldn't quite connect the dots with the final ball.
Good work there by Zane Bob, coming over from his centre-back spot to help, and then Fricky came in to fill in for him.
That ball somehow stayed in.
It did. Say perhaps there was a seam in the carpet there.
Just magnetized to the line. Anguiano in a precarious position.
So it's going to be a tough physical battle for Anguiano with Schneider.
You said it, Ross, earlier. 45 minutes and a cameo for him. Had a lot of control in that game against Westchester. In the middle of the park. Kind of that park ranger, if you will. Always 1-2 touches and away with the ball. Rick Wright was telling us in the build-up to this one that they really appreciate what he brings, but they want him to be a little bit maybe more ambitious with his range of passing. Maybe push the ball distances greater than 10 yards or so where he's comfortable.
He's been able to float forward a little bit more tonight. Chapo Herrera back behind him. So steady at that 6th spot. Certainly a different player than Sebastian Velasquez, though, creativity-wise. Anguiano.
Velasquez, who scored the leveler against Westchester, another player who's down and unavailable today. Here's a set of strong strides from Chapo Herrera. He's throttled down and there's no advantage to be played.
Yeah, I think both coaches will have plenty to say at the break. See the goal, that's the difference in this one so far, came a little out of nowhere. It's certainly been a very even first half here at Paladin Stadium.
Can't imagine there's going to be much stoppage coming. See if Greenville can make the most of whatever time does remain. Pollock. Into the path of Zakowski!
Well, the halftime talk has changed.
Bullseye! The bright-haired boy bangs it in and makes it 2-0. That goal is brought to you by YMCA of Greenville.
I was about to say, Greenville only had 2 touches in the opponent's box before this one. It was a lovely ball in from Pollock. What a flick by Castro. Zakowski, nobody within 2 or 3 yards of him. That's a fine volleyed finish for the man out of Monmouth.
What has gotten into these Triumph boys on the full volley?
Clearly a set piece they've worked on in training. And the backflip as well. Scoring goals in preseason for fun. Now translating that over to the regular season, the Reedy River Riot enjoying themselves here. Very rightly so.
Champions from a year ago on their heels.
Leo Castro now a goal and an assist.
And they want more. Zakowski summons it and swerves in on his left. He had the run of Evan Lee in his sights, just overhit the ball.
We saw Ben Zakowski be effective last year in those channels rather than way out wide. That's where he found himself there. Off the header from Castro.
It's 5 minutes of stoppage time. That's clever. Amish. In again. Out again. Zane Bub. Akoff twisting away. Got dragged back. Another foul. At what point do the cards start to come out?
You mentioned a couple of real big offensive options. I think Tom Cascio, I don't think expected to make any changes at the half, but certainly perhaps some tactical changes and some words for his defense, because 2 sloppy goals in the end. It was a fine finish from Zakowski, but Castro talked about Dom Cassiato being focused on stopping him. His defense hasn't done so.
Both goals.
It was more of a hopeful ball in,
yeah.
Just hoping Castro could get a header on something, and it can't leave Ben Zakowski with that much space inside the box.
You said exactly what I was thinking, Ross. Both goals kind of coming from nothing, at least somewhat. Not much sustained pressure, just kind of a blind ball in, and it fell nicely. It was stricken with enough venom to get through. Not quite sure what the holdup is here.
Kalman having a word with our assistant referee on this side. Perhaps asking him to watch something.
Man down, and that will be the first caution of the night. Zane Bub, who took the blow. I believe the name being taken is Mehdi Walmre.
A little bit of frustration there.
Good look at that USL League One title winner. Patch on the sleeve of Union Omaha's shirt. As you get another look at the collision, it has not been a warm welcome back to play for the champions from a year ago.
Shot into the midriff of Zane Bub. Not a soccer play, as I'm sure the referee was telling him.
Down by Zakowski. Not fully dealt with. Zakowski again, can't wriggle free. Away by Malone. Who wants it? It's a well-spotted pass. That one's even better. Zakowski. Cut wide, Chapa Herrera. Fleet feet from him. In for Zakowski. Chile was a little bit late to react there. Ever since Zakowski came over to this right side, traded places with Connor Evans, much more joy for Greenville Triumph as another foul was given there. Akoff taking the tumble.
Perhaps Tyler Polak finding his name in the book.
Referee is certainly working something out, and he is writing something down. So fair assumption from you, Ross.
Polak not afraid to get stuck in when need be.
Really great battle on the flanks there between 2 of the best fullbacks in the league, him and Akoff. Cello Martinez a chance to look upfield. Nowhere to go with it though. Trying to skip a line. Does just about work out. Ball in over the top. Skipping away, sent in, and this will be a conclave for Gunther Reichenberg. We're past the 5 minutes given. And that is half. 2 whistles, 2 goals for Greenville Triumph, who have been ascendant through 45, Ross Davenport.
Yeah, you wouldn't know they played a game on Saturday, and a tough game it was. That man went the distance, I think, on Saturday, and now with a goal and an assist in his first half for the Colombian veteran Leo Castro.
Halftime score is brought to you by Upstate Spine and Sport. No adjustment needed for Greenville Triumph to date as we set to step aside here in the Upstate. The home side, 2 goals to the good against Union Omaha. Back with halftime coverage when we come back. Big names on a big day. Midweek, match week number 1 in the USL League One. Union Omaha with work to do as Greenville Triumph have been slinging in the goals in the first 45 minutes of play. Folks, don't go anywhere.
At Piedmont Natural Gas, being a part of the communities we serve is important to us because to us, community begins with you. We strive to address the needs of our communities by investing time and resources to help improve the quality of life for our customers. For over 60 years, we have funded programs that support education, the environment, and community impact. Our Energy Assistance Program, Share the Warmth, helps customers pay their energy bills. We're committed to helping our neighbors by powering the vitality of our communities.
Every lottery ticket purchase keeps education in our state moving forward. Like in 2005, when lottery proceeds helped purchase new school buses that kept South Carolina students on the road to success. Because arriving safely to school every day is the first important step on their journeys to the careers and lives they've always dreamed of. When you play the lottery, you're helping fund the futures of students all over our state, which is why education is our middle name.
Every day, we get the privilege to serve you, sharing local stories on all your screens.
The first alert on breaking news sent through the Fox Carolina News app.
Serving you with the earliest heads up on storms through the Fox Carolina First Alert weather app.
Live and on-demand newscasts.
Fox Carolina Investigations.
On your streaming TV.
Your stories told right here. Fox Carolina News.
I'm Rick Wright, head coach of the Greenville Triumph Soccer Club. The Triumph play here on Palmetto Sports and Entertainment.
Watch using antenna on channel 21.2 or on Spectrum 703. The Greenville Triumph play here. Palmetto Sports.
El Greenville Triumph y Liberty están orgullosos de asociarse con Telemundo Carolina del Sur. Vean Telemundo Carolina del Sur para mantenerte informado con noticias locales en español y disfrutar de toda la increíble programación de Telemundo. Disponible gratis con antena en el canal 31.1.
At the break, today's halftime score is presented by Upstate Spine and Sport. Of course, winning is fun, back pain is not. Let's keep you moving after the game. Call Upstate Spine and Sport, the official chiropractor and massage therapist of the Greenville Triumph. And no need to massage much of anything if you're Rick Wright with how that half has gone. We are a match week in the books, Ross, and here's what the team of the week looks like. A couple of Greenville players in that group.
Yeah, dominated by Richmond. Darwin Espinal playing his trade elsewhere in the lower leagues, but now in USL League One and showing exactly what he could bring with a couple of assists. Yeah, Telopolak there, deservedly as well.
Sebastian Velasquez scoring the penalty that drew Greenville level in that match. Westchester players also in that team. J.C. Obergon getting the first goal in Westchester history on this ground just a couple days ago.
To Rankenberg finding himself on the bench, along with former Greenville man Hayden Anderson, who scored for Richmond in the opener.
Here's how that game turned out, Ross. We got to be on hand for that. The highlights from that match between Westchester and Greenville. But first, we will watch the game that preceded it. Richmond and Tormenta, and this was a thrill fest.
Yeah, Richmond has some really key components this offseason, obviously starting on the road at Tormenta. Not much of a home field advantage, unfortunately, for South Georgia. Richmond put up 4 goals to win this one by a couple.
It was a convicted performance from a side that maybe didn't meet the standard that they have set for themselves a year ago. Also failed in the playoffs by this Union Omaha outfit, so I'm sure they're getting a little bit of joy from the hate watch at home as Greenville has had so much success so far. 2-0 so far in this game, 4-2 in that game. last Friday. And here is the main event, the one that the fans saw for Greenville, 1-1 to open things up on the first Saturday of the league season.
Yeah, it wasn't the prettiest affair. A couple of penalties that perhaps weren't penalties aimed Bob. Seemed to poke the ball away from JC Obregon. Referee disagreed, and then Obregon poked it home on the penalty. Then Leo Castro here at the corner of the box. Goes down a little easy, and there's the makeup call. And Sebastian Velasquez would score before departing at the half injured. But I think a good point at home for Greenville as well as for Westchester in their first ever game.
Teams splitting the point there, and then there was the nightcap. First game in Naples history, and it was not off to a great start. This is an absolute banger, Ross.
Yeah, Hernandez saw that back post and found it with that left foot. Not the new Chattanooga kiss, a little River Plate-esque. Not quite in the packed house in Naples, but they would find their way back into this one.
This is how they did it. Ball clipping up off the hand, and it's a point to the spot. Westchester's first goal was a penalty. FC Naples would have the same, and they find a point in that match. 1-1 the final score. More coming up at the half here in South Carolina. Our score is 2-0 between Greenville Triumph and Union Omaha.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Go right up through the middle, a shot! While still going, he shoots! And for a cross! Long shot from range! Unstoppable strike!
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way. Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power. Trusted for over 100 years, our proven blend of camphor, menthol, and essential oils tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger, so that you can rise above pain and get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
Success doesn't come easy. It takes grit, hustle, and relentless effort. Every step forward brings you closer to greatness. This is your moment. Elevate your game. El Jimador Spiked Bebidas.
What exactly is a Sully steamer? Our sandwiches are made to order, which means once you've taken a look at our big menu and narrowed down your options, we go to work. Our sandwiches are stuffed with fresh, flavorful ingredients and then placed in our special steamer until the sandwich gets warm and soft and fuses all the flavors together to achieve the peak of tastiness. Are you hungry yet?
Back at the intermission, today's halftime score is presented by Upstate Spine and Sport, all twisted up in knots. Union Omaha, Ross Davenport. Here are some of the news and notes from around the league beyond the notable, obviously, in our match. The score as it stands. We just showed you the highlights of that match, the League One debut for FC Naples. What a great environment. They get a chance to do it again this weekend against Forward Madison.
No, it's exciting stuff. And other news, obviously, Fort Lauderdale now getting into the pro game. Florida really picking up. Sarasota as well is going to be exciting.
True.
Palm Beach in the USL Championship. Let's focus on the US Open Cup, though. A ton of games next week. Got some exciting ones. One, Knoxville visiting Appalachian. That's one of my favorite ones. Will they wear those crazy kids? We're not sure. But yeah, Ballard, Spokane. That's another big Washington rivalry. So many great. I think they'll all be on ESPN Plus.
Westchester will be a participant in that competition. They're out of the blocks. You saw it over the weekend, the 1-1 draw against Greenville. Juan Carlos Obregon getting the first goal in club history. It's one of their own.
Yeah, he's proud to be a New Yorker. And yeah, off to a great start there. Looking for some support from as they get a little healthier as well.
Looking at the schedule before the weekend, we already started to nibble around the edges a bit. Forward Madison and Naples will be one of the preeminent matches in that upcoming slate of games. South Georgia Tormenta maybe in need of a bit of get back against the Navy Alta team that takes its maiden voyage.
It's always exciting to see the brand new sides coming out. A little bit of a staggered start to USL League One this season. We get to see what forward Madison have. Yeah, the crowd should be rocking again. Hopefully some Madison fans make the trip down to Naples. Beautiful time of year down in Florida.
Of course, a couple clashes between playoff teams from a year ago. Spokane Velocity got all the way to the final. They'll take on One Knox, a side that doesn't have a ton of change, brought back a lot of the same group and hopes to take that next step this year.
Yeah, these early season matchups are always intriguing. Everybody with hope as to what the season could possibly bring.
Richmond and Charlotte Independence also on the docket. That's on Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN+. Charlotte Independence, of course, a very familiar foe, both those teams. In fact, to Greenville Triumph, that will be an interesting one there on that one. We set to step aside. Coming up, the second half between Greenville Triumph and Union Omaha. Find some answers in half number 2. We will find out. Coming up next with that.
One little lottery ticket makes a big difference for our state students. And when I say big, I mean big. Bigger than jackpot big. Like back in 2014, when lottery funds helped upgrade South Carolina's classrooms, giving students the tools they needed to follow their biggest ideas wherever they live, through school and far beyond. For over 20 years, the biggest lottery wins have been and always will be for our state students. After all, education is our middle name.
This just in, Union Omaha Soccer is back, and the Owls are kicking off the new season here at Warner Park. Whether it's the heart-stopping action, delicious concessions, or your Owls, the 2024 USL League One champions electrify the pitch. Ring in the new season with the defending champions on Saturday, May 10th, as we celebrate our 5th trophy in club history. You don't just watch the action, you are the action, and we can't wait to see you. One city, one club. One means all.
Just breathe. Just breathe. Breathe. Woo! Let's take this thing higher. Higher than you ever been. Stand tall like Everest. I mean higher. You ain't gotta settle in. Go places they never been. We go higher. Non-stop. Take it to the top even when the ball drops. My man, we go higher. Woo! Let's take this thing. Non-stop. It's time to go higher.
Welcome to Wood Creek Dental, where dental care is a family tradition. For over 40 years, we're proud to be a family-owned practice, serving the community of Greenville, South Carolina. Our experienced dentists and dedicated staff are committed to your oral health. Experience the difference for yourself. Wood Creek Dental. Dental care, from our family to yours.
Highlights from the half that was, a lot of them in favor of the home side. It started a little bit rickety though. Great bit of defensive work to deny that from Brandon Fricke. You have to wonder where we'd be if that ball hit the back of the net.
Yeah, Fricke, right place at the right time to deny Kemi Amish. Into the 14th minute. Another chance here for Omaha with a brighter side in the first 15 minutes or so. That went right at Gunther Rankenberg.
Late on, though, Greenville would find a bit of rhythm. A long ball over the top. Goalkeeper caught in two minds and comes up with the wrong answer.
Yeah, the more you watch that, you really wonder what Russell City was thinking about. He was never going to get to that ball. Leo Castro made him pay.
That was a great goal. This one probably a bit better.
Just watch Sikowski's run here. He anticipated the header from Castro, beat everybody to it. And a sublime left-footed volley into the roof of the net. And the backflip to go with it.
The fitting celebration. Don Casciato was not just going to roll over. He shuffles the deck, and on comes Joe Gallardo.
Donning the mask. Nice man, Joe Gallardo. Always a threat going forward.
See if he is able to don the cape to match and rescue his side in half number 2. Most on the team in terms of chances created last year by a wide gulf. 21 more than second best. He had 43 last season, and that's the kind of creativity Omaha are going to need if they are to imagine a better future for themselves today.
Chelo Martinez, a couple of moments in that first half, but relatively quiet. Otherwise, Dom Casciato clearly just trying to spark something out of his boys here. Get things going in this second half. Perhaps looking to take advantage of some tiring Greenville legs as this second 45 goes along.
And we are underway. Green means go. We are off in the second half. What are you looking for in the first 10 minutes from Union Omaha?
I think they're going to try and come out as they did in the first half and try and push some bodies forward. They really grew into that first half till about the 15-20 minute mark, and then started to play their way back into it. Still staying with four at the back. There's a look at that substitution to confirm it. Martinez out, Gallardo in. Just looking to try and get something created through the middle. Trying to feed Wermari. Didn't have a ton of service in that first half. The new man, but again, half this team almost for Omaha tonight, brand new players. It's going to take a little while to gel, even with the preseason. Mixing in trialists, you're never seeing the same 11 for very long.
Trotting ahead into the box. The flag's down for now, and then it pops up.
Promising run though from Wermari. Behind the Greenville defense, just a little too early.
What have you made of what has certainly played like a back four? This is a back four formation for Union Omaha, a team that featured predominantly 3-4-3 of sorts throughout the year. Bit of a box midfield, different look today, hasn't quite come off.
He did try it a few times last season. Did Dom Casciato the four at the back to mixed effect. I think just trying, listen, these pre-seasons, it's a little longer this year than it was last season, but it takes a few weeks to get going. This is the time to be trying stuff like this. I think you and I kind of talked about it, what this team,
Zakowski, great ball and buried. That was put straight on the head of Leo Castro, who braces himself and maybe, just maybe, makes the lead insurmountable for Union Omaha.
Dom Casciato's message to limit this man's impact in this game has been completely forgotten, apparently, by this Omaha backline. Zakowski again. Superb ball that was. Castro, nobody within 6 yards of him. Just opened up by one ball. What a ball that was from Zakowski. Right on the money. It had to be two to beat Brett Common. He was in position, but the pace just beat the veteran. Not the kind of start to the second half Omaha were looking for. Castro now 2 goals and an assist. Zakowski with a goal and an assist for himself.
And again, just cutting between the center backs, finding that little bit of space between central defenders. Back line is breached again.
Zakowski on the left-hand side this time, where he started the game. This is what Rick Wright was looking for last week. They just didn't create enough chances. Man, they haven't created a ton tonight, but the ones they have, they've been clinical with.
In a tight area. You'd imagine that for Union Omaha to really feel good about their chances going forward. A goal in the next, let's say, 15 minutes might be crucial.
See Greenville now, though, flying forward with the press. Skipping their step. That's a nice little ball, though. Fricky nicely, though, to cut it out, as it does so often.
Slide away. It's a throw-in set to be taken. Omaha gained 13 points from losing positions last year. It was one of the best marks in the league. This would be unlike anything they accomplished a year ago, though. 3-0 down is widely regarded somewhat of a death sentence in this sport, but anything's possible, especially in this league.
Listen, I remember last year doing that US Open Cup game between Birmingham and Tampa Bay. It was 4-0 with 13 minutes to go, so I never say never. Game went to 4-4, went to extra time. Don't forget to tune in next week for more Cup nonsense.
Nonsense?
That's exactly what that game was. Pure nonsense. Yeah, Greenville finally looking to end this hex here in Greenville against Omaha.
I think for any spectator that was not over appreciative of maybe the stodginess against Westchester. All that rust has fallen away from Greenville. Castro is hunting a hat trick. In this case, though, giving away a free kick. Knapp. Amish, that's skillful. Akoff with gusto. Amish providing a run down the line. Gets in a cross over Rankenberg, just enough of an intervention. There's a body down in the box. Thinning front lines of this Greenville side, and hopefully nothing too serious there.
DJ Benton on the ground. Lovely ball in here by Amish. Fingertips, maybe even fingernails. And that one, as Benton comes crashing down, he seems to be all right. They're going to try and run this one off.
He's had a strong starting debut, got a little bit of a cameo late against Westchester, and he's been good down that right side.
Yes, we haven't mentioned his name much, which is a fullback is normally a good thing if you're up 3-0. He hasn't been tested a ton down that side. Last time we mentioned, didn't get really a chance in Knoxville last year after such an impressive year with North Carolina.
Just one of those cases where maybe his particular skill set did not fit the way that Knoxville ended up playing with that back three.
Oh, listen, Knoxville were so solid at the back, you can't fault them for not making too many changes. Castro trying to get a little too cute there, looking for Evan Lee.
That's been how the offense has blossomed for Greenville, though. Castro kind of being that hub, players orbiting around him and the gravity that he has between lines.
So this is a guy that Greenville brought back this offseason. There was questions whether they would. Goals kind of come in spurts, but when he's on form, there's not many better true number 9s in the league.
Player that's had a wide range of experience in his career, playing the sport on multiple continents, and that is a clattering tackle. And it's fair. To the right side. Cut back across goal. Zakowski! Twice as nice for him. It appears maybe the flag has popped up.
Yeah,
Dismay.
I think the referee was waving it off. Assistant referee on this far side apparently put the flag up. We'll take another look at it, I'm sure, on the replay in a second. Dion Akoff was caught completely out of position. And Zakowski sat down and made a cup of tea and then scored. Let's take another look here. We obviously had, this is the one good thing about the lines. Let's see what happens here. Yes, it was questionable. He was maybe a yard ahead of the ball. Could have been the difference if he was just a yard behind it. He would have been onside. Probably the correct call there from the AR on that far side.
You think he had past the last defender?
Yes, you think it was the key if he was going to be behind the ball or not.
Just a little test of the conviction there, just to make certain. Oh,
Chapa with a bit of revenge from Joe Gallardo after that last challenge. Joe Gallardo saying, yeah, that was revenge for that last cruncher. Dion Akoff having to intervene. Joe Gallardo does like to get involved on occasion. Referee John Matos had a good game so far tonight. Kept things under control. Had that little spell in the first half where he seemed to be calling a foul every couple of seconds, but it wasn't his fault. I'll give a shout out to the Omaha fans back in Nebraska. A couple of crews watching at B5 Brewery in Benson and Rathskeller in Omaha. Always great watch parties there in Omaha.
Skipping away to Castro. He's pulling out all the tricks now. Time unable to make it stick. Just win the ball back. Now Ron Gomez. Just a frustrated night so far for Union Omaha.
We haven't had too many of them over the last couple of years, Peyton.
This is the truth. Amish.
Oh, that was a filthy shimmy.
Filtered wide, fanned in, and this time Reichenberg able to hold on. A couple nervy moments, but that was as calm as you like.
There's a little more like it from Kemi Amish. I love a good shoulder shimmy, Payne.
Do you now?
I do. One of the most underrated. You can see it. Oh, it is. We'll cut away too early. Good claim by Reichenberg in the end, just ahead of Wamadi. That ball.
I want to hear more about the shimmy shake.
It's one of those things that you don't really appreciate until you see it happen, and you can just throw players off completely on the defensive side of things.
Something in your locker?
No, not as a keeper, no.
Castro jousting for it. Whistle does finally come.
See what Leo Castro thinks about that decision. I thought he got goal side of Malone. John Mato made the decision though, not too much complaining from Castro. Unlike for last week's penalty decision where I think half the Greenville players turned around and couldn't believe the decision.
It's a good point though, Ross. Leo Castro, for all of Greenville's 4 goals scored to this point in the year, has had some degree of involvement, whether it was direct or not. Guard out. Amish. Still Amish. Still Amish. Slices it high and handsome, but not for lack of good effort. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights. Plus, you can hear live matches, USL MLS Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157, new Sirius XM app. Malone. Knapp took a blow and no advantage presented itself.
Seems that we're having that same spell we had in the first half. Just get everybody getting a little physical. Greenville did play on Saturday. Obviously a good chunk of current 11 on this team went the distance. So we'll see how the legs feel for Greenville when Rick Wright decides to go to the bench. We mentioned week's break, almost a week's break till their next game in the Cup next week. They'll play their next League One match till the end of March.
Got that double up in the first week and then a long break. Chance to reassess and, in Greenville's case, get healthy. You'd be really happy, I think, at this point in the year, coming out of these first 2 games, given the context, the circumstances, all the injuries and unavailability. Greenville pockets 4 points from these first 2 games. I think you're coming away smiling.
Yeah, I think many expected the 3 points perhaps to come against the newcomers last week, but they won't care which order they came in. Rick will certainly be hoping the score stays like this. He can get the likes of Rodrigo Robles on, Ivan Ajakwa, Anthony Patti.
It should be known that Greenville starts the year by playing 4 teams that made the playoffs a year ago, and then Westchester, that's been widely picked as a team that could go on and win the thing in year 1. I think it's a dark horse pick. They were ranked 4th in the inaugural power rankings.
Yeah, you're a big fan of the way that roster was constructed, Peyton. We saw Lexington go full throttle offensively last year, but it seems the way that Westchester team has been built up the spine is an impressive spot. And yeah, Kamar Lawrence, the likes of the experience he brings.
All these home matches to discuss. You can get tickets to those at www.triumphtix.com. That's a sweet bit of skill and smoothly on. Shot into the feet of Wamry, who can't untangle himself. What have you made of the performance of Mehdi Wamry picking up the number 9?
I think he's had a tough night. He hasn't got the service he's wanted to get. Listen, Zane Bob, a nice little addition for Greenville, replacing Jamie Smith in the center of the park. Greenville have always had solid center-back pairings over the year, whether it's with Evan Lee, Daniel Wu. Some nice fill-in appearances last year. Brandon Fricky, one of the best in the league. Wamry, I think he's had a bit of a tough time breaking those 2 down physically. He's had some space. He's done all right with it. He had that nice overhead kick earlier. I think for Dom Casiaro now, the rest of this game with a half an hour, see what you've got at your disposal. Trying to get your stylistic. We talked a little bit during the week about seeing that, working on the stylistic side of things. Obviously, not much to improve on when you win the double last season.
Can imagine this does a massive bit for confidence for Greenville. Just belief in the process, always not really that difficult for Rick Wright to inspire. I think it's one of his better qualities, his ability to connect a group, but this will do a lot for how this team is feeling heading into the early part of the season.
Regardless of what team Omaha is putting out here, obviously missing Rashidnu, who is huge, but just to get the first ever win at home would be a big one. Obviously still half hour to go.
It's a dangerous ball. Rankenberg called into action, and it's fizz wide. Just about how the night's gone for Union Omaha.
Yeah, if that one had found the far corner of Rankenberg's net, things could have been a little different.
That was Aaron Gomez, who found himself unmarked and on the way in, and just enough to put him off at the end from Benton.
Yeah, Benton got caught napping a little bit there. Nice ball through to Gomez.
Gomez, who finished the year so hotly. Goal contributions all over the place. Finished last year with 7 in the last 8 games. This one's flashed in towards Wanry, just skids over his toes.
Greenville got off to a nice start late last season, you'll remember. Knocked off Spokane in the opener. Beat Hailstorm, obviously had a great season. Knocked off Knoxville in the cup. Lexington, obviously at that point they looked like a good win. Tying against Fort Madison, had a bit of a rough patch in April, but Greenville looking to get off to another good start here with those 5 home matches in a row, as you mentioned, Peyton. It's the time to rack up those points. Well, so many of these teams starting with so many road games in a row, the likes of Westchester, Madison, Omaha. Dave Carton did say last week to us that it's not a bad thing for a new side to be playing so many on the road, get that camaraderie going. There's a lot of travel in this league, as we know.
Especially as it expands, adds new teams on each coast. Still excited to see Portland Hearts of Pine get their first action in the league. Ball to the wide side is blocked by Benton. Once more entered into the area. Punched away by Anguiano. Foul is awarded. eFootball is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download now.
Almost looks like Leo Castro's been playing video game soccer tonight.
I think he might rather play with Ronaldinho.
I haven't seen him down there, but I'm going to assume Ronaldinho's in the middle of the Reedy River right now playing drums, until somebody tells me otherwise.
Nodded back to Rankenberg. You know, I'm somewhat surprised that he didn't ask for the match shirt. I'm sure he could still give it a good 15 minutes.
Probably pulled his hamstring.
You know, we were talking about this with Rick Wright leading up to the game as the foul is called. He joked around and he said, maybe I'll get a haircut for this game. I suggested he goes with the Ronaldinho, long black locks.
He did say he wanted to get his new custom Greenville Triumph sneakers that were given to him by his son, signed by Ronaldinho. We'll see if that happens. We'll ask him in a couple of weeks if that happened.
Here's Evans carving, showing the versatility, playing on both sides of the attack today. Good defensive work. Hunting impacts there, Union Omaha. And then a crunching tackle from Schneider, who just got tangled up there with DJ Benton. Lost his cool a bit on the backside of that exchange. Looks like Union Omaha has prepped a change and is going to introduce Prosper Kasim. This would be the marquee signing of the offseason.
Yeah, certainly USL Championship legend in Birmingham. 177 all appearances for them, the all-time leader. Also played for a chunk in Sweden. certainly provides some not much needed depth in the middle of the park and some options.
Party to
late signing though, so not getting the start tonight.
Prosper Kasim, party to 70 wins in his time in Alabama. Scored the first goal in club history. Also contributed another 29 his time working with Tommy Selm. Birmingham program trying to get back on its feet after missing the postseason last year. Was just kind of that moment in time where it was clear that a changing of the guard was maybe necessary. But a player that's still got plenty left in those shooting boots.
Only 28 years old. It seems like he's been around for a lot longer than that. And he'll certainly provide some quality in the final third for Omaha as this season goes on. We'll be fighting for a starting spot in the middle there with the likes of Guiado, Chelo Martinez, etc. That's with the cup now and the cups. I should say the cups with Jägermeister Cup and US Open Cup. There's plenty of minutes to go around, plenty of games to show what you've got.
All the cups. First touch is a good one. Well spotted for Schneider, who rolls it wide. Amish, a little bit of flexibility and fluidity as he explores on the far side now.
Speaking of the cup, I got the Long Island Rough Riders in a game next week, and a couple of them played at Monmouth with Ben Zakowski as well as Griffin Thomas.
Amish, cut out by Bob, and all the way cleared by Benton.
It's Griffin Thomas, one of those guys we haven't mentioned tonight, but he's likely out for the year with a nasty knee injury, unfortunately for former Hartford Athletic man. And there's a card. Too many fouls on Leo Castro.
Felt like for either Castro or Chapo Herrera, it might be a bit inevitable at the current trajectory of physicality. Not much doubt in that.
Yeah, I think Rick Wright will be a little annoyed that his veteran there picking up a card in a 3-0 game, going back towards the opposition's goal.
Leo Castro, the leading returning goal scorer, trying to fill some of the production in the aggregate of what Lion McKinnon provided a year ago. Team high, Leo Castro did. 72 aerial duels, and that kind of sums up his game. Bit of a chaos grenade, so good at that knockdown and second man run in behind.
Yeah, certainly the thing that Tom Cassiat will be most disappointed about tonight is the damage that it was the one thing when we asked him about Greenville, the first thing he mentioned was Leo Castro and the impact that he can have and limiting his impact, and they have not done that tonight.
Kasim. Schneider, bit of a blind ball in behind. It was a good early start. The first 20 minutes to 30 minutes for Union Omaha looked like the same old, and since then, just out of ideas.
Yeah, that goal took a little bit of wind out of them. Listen, Rashid Nuhu, been around for this team forever. He's really one of the big leaders of this team. I don't know much about his situation, so we'll perhaps find out over the next couple of weeks. That's a big loss. Coming on the road for the first game. Half a new team, and you're missing your talisman goalkeeper.
11 clean sheets last year were the most he's ever had with Union Omaha, and of course that is a long and storied career. Over 130 appearances for him, all competitions down the years. That was a little bit risky. Union Omaha able to get away unharmed.
The scary thing about Greenville is that we haven't even seen Siobhan Marsh for more than a couple of minutes, and Rapapa Mensah, the two, say, marquee signings of the offseason for Rick Wright, has not played at all.
The other one being Michael Gonzalez, who we only saw 8 minutes of before injury took him out against Westchester.
It's been a perfect time for the likes of Ben Zakowski to state a claim to a starting spot. That's exactly what he's done tonight.
Rodrigo Robles was so good in the preseason, really tore it up. I believe the number was 4 goals across all their matches. Not even seen him yet.
I think we'll see him before the end of the night, I think, here. Perhaps give Castro a break, especially as he's on the yellow.
Schneider with hopes of maybe scratching one back. Omaha have looked good on these corner kicks. I guess he's not. All right, here we go. And just knuckled off the head of Wamry, who found himself in a good position to maybe hit that. Minutes left to the end of the line. So for Rick Wright, what is the approach with how you might use your substitutions down the stretch?
I certainly think he'd love to get Ivan Ajakwe at his League One debut. Such a he play either in the back line or in the midfield. I think get Robles on. You don't have much, you don't have many other options. Seth Torman and Adrian Blins are the two backup goalkeepers. I don't think Rick wants to see either of those two just yet. Anthony Patti perhaps. Give Brandon Fricke a break. Patti, left side center back.
A guy that Rick Wright spoke so glowingly of throughout the process and the build-up to this season that's been anticipated for Greenville. Wanted the chance to get back out there and acquit themselves after bowing out of the postseason.
He sort of wasn't quite a swap with Daniel Wu. The Daniel Wu situation, he went to Lexington, and Lexington also recommended Anthony Patti as perhaps an option. I'm not sure if it happened before the Wu departure, or the signing, I should say, or not. But yeah, Anthony Patti came recommended. Lexington said, yeah, take him on, give him a shot. Certainly see plenty of action this year, I think, in that Daniel Wu spot, the sort of utility back in the middle of the back four.
Prosper Kasim on a bit of a skill show. Acuff. Nice ball. Gomez. Goal was unguarded. Gardo couldn't get a touch. He does chase it down. Stabbed out of play. Just finishing up on Patti. Player that they were excited to have in the fold just because he's a left-footed center back. They've not had that in Greenville in some time.
Hard to find good left-footed, left-sided center backs.
Another searching ball off the head of Acuff. Cut back in towards Acuff, never gets there. Scooped away. Blake Malone able to keep his feet, keep it on. And Castro is yanked back, that'll be a caution.
Silly from Blake Malone there. Pull him back, Leo Castro. I was going to say streaking in reference to Leo Castro, but I'm not sure if that's the word I could use for him. Not known for his pace down the wings especially, but he was gone here for a little while. He wanted to go to the races.
He might be feeling a couple years younger. 2 goals in his pocket already. Thumped in, pushed along. Castro was arriving. Shealy is up to that particular task. Malone. Somehow working it out, pushing through the crowd. Amish and Acuff now.
Chapa Herrera still chasing back like a madman. You can see he's
inch.
fired up about that one. Acuff wanted the foul, playing the shirt grab.
Everybody knows the Chapa Herrera story at this point, but moments like that, it is a sincere reminder that this is a guy who started his professional career not in soccer, but as a construction worker.
Yeah, he was just spotted at basically a random tournament by then El Paso Locomotive coach Mark Lowry. Went on to play over 100 games for El Paso. So I always tell my softball playing daughter, you never know who's watching you at any time when you're playing. Chapa Herrera, a great example of that. Obviously came over, highly recommended by Sebastian Velasquez as well. And there we are.
Substitution coming. One for both sides. Jiba set to come on, and you do get to see Anthony Patti. This is the adjustment of the match, brought to you by Upstate Spine and Sport.
Greg did say Anthony Patti can play a bit of defensive midfield. Looks like that's where he's going to sit.
And it looks like that is his particular deployment here. Thought for a moment there might be some calls for a back five, but seems like he's going to play that more prototypical stopper-destroyer role.
So you can never have enough depth in that department.
This is a good situation, up 3 goals, 15 minutes left to maybe try some things, see if this might be a handy gambit to roll out there down the line, seeing games out. Again, it was Ryan Jiba who was coming on for Union Omaha.
Anthony Patti can also play a bit of left back as well, provide some nice cover for Tyler Pollock if necessary, give him a rest when need be. He's only 22, Anthony Patti. Still plenty of youth in him.
Worked wide, now whittling inside. Big block, now Chapo Herrera. Sweet on the ball, now leaking ahead, Zakowski. Around him is Anguiano. Waiting for targets. Pushed on towards goal. And just plowed wide by Zakowski. He was making that late arriving run. Anguiano doing a nice job to hold up and find the right option.
Yeah, just scuffed a little bit from Zakowski. That's more like it from Anguiano. Rick Wright wants to see him getting forward, pushing like that. Taking advantage of some tight Omaha legs, stretching his. Here comes Ryan Jiba.
Thought he may have come on a moment ago, but told to wait. Bronick has also checked in, a youngster with a lot of potential, player that they are expecting big things from this year. Gets right involved, now Jiba, and just shinned away by Rankenberg. Maybe the ball got out over the line first.
Yeah, looks like it'll be a goal kick for Greenville.
That today's match is presented by KW Beverage. Has been an enjoyable one for those of the Triumph Persuasion. I wanted to maybe pilot test a new phrase as player is down and play is stopped. We'll get to that here in a moment, Ross, as Leo Castro appears to have taken a shot to the back of the head.
Omaha
what happened, yeah.
Plenty to say. You can see at the edge of the, bring Kalman just over the top. But somehow, I think referee accusing Leo Castro of backing into Kalman.
A pair of widely held bets, about 69 years of age between the two of them. Not a very nice collision there, though.
Not sure if Coleman's asking for a second yellow or what he's asking for, but the foul was given in his favor. I think. Certainly pointed that way. Referee Mato.
How would you evaluate the performance of Brent Coleman so far today, making his debut for the club?
I think he's been strong in the middle. Obviously, a couple of defensive lapses as a unit. I think Brent Coleman, you're getting used to playing with each other as well. I'm assuming in the preseason they were playing mostly a back four. As Coleman's going to, I thought he was going to perhaps say, ask if Leo Castro was okay.
Are you thinking
time to get that man off?
Maybe day done for Leo Castro at this point. Maybe get him back in the garage.
Yeah, I think get Robles up top. Risk that second yellow or an injury like that. The problem with Leo Castro is he's one of those guys that's hard to rein in. You can't tell him to calm down. He's always going to be physically involved.
Just a talking to for Coleman. 10 minutes to the end of the line. For now, Greenville playing down to 10 men. It was Anthony Patti who was taking up the striker responsibility for a moment. Castro has come back on. Whistle comes in as Anguiano was twisted up. Next match coming up. You're gonna have to wait for a while, but it will be worth it. Spokane Velocity comes to town. Greenville Triumph playing the first match in Velocity history last year. Now coming off a charge to the championship rounds. They're back in action at the end of March here in South Carolina.
I think that is an adjusted start time. I think it was originally 4 o'clock, now 7 o'clock. So those fans that had it in their calendars 4, make sure you adjust that. And you'll just be there early. It's fine if you want to get tailgating at 5 hours before. That's fine. Rankenberg takes a bit of a shot there. Gets up shaking his left hand. Giardo spraying. That was a good claim. The best claim of the night by Gunther.
A little bit shaky for him at the start, but he has certainly grown into the game and right on cue. A giveaway. Open goal. It's blocked on the way there. And punted out of play.
Luckily for Gunther Rankenberg, it's now another yellow for somebody else. And Evan Lee perhaps with the yellow. Not sure what for.
It's all coming unglued, Ross.
That was just poor from Gunther Rankenberg. You're up 3-0. I guess you can afford to relax a little bit. Not that much.
Here comes the corner. Rankenberg certainly switched on now. In by Schneider. Just blared at the near post and an acrobatic clearance to get rid of the danger.
And we talked to Rick Wright often last season about his 2 goalkeeper rotation he had with Rankenberg and Christian Garner. It worked in the end, obviously. Rankenberg came out on top in the playoffs.
Rabona rolled along. Chapa Herrera's in.
Oh, Chapa. Just ran out of gas, I think.
Trucked at the end, but yeah. Maybe trying to return the favor. After the Rabona, trying to go with the Travella to finish. And just clarification, Zane Bub was booked for time wasting apparently after booting that ball away. Trying to clear it out over the end line and mute any kind of threat to the goal. Ball in. High header.
I can only assume in that situation then that the ball perhaps was already over the line when Zane Bub smashed it away. Second one for him this season. He got one in the opener as well.
A little early to start worrying about accumulation. They all count toward it though. All right. Said that maybe I wanted to test out a phrase for Greenville Triumph. First year working in and around the club this year, Ross. How do we feel about up the umph?
It might take a little while to grow on me, but it's got some potential. I can see it on a t-shirt.
Just gonna let it sit there, fill the room. We have gotten approval from our producer, Hunter Nixon, part of crew doing such a good job getting us through the 90 minutes here today.
Up the umph. All right,
up the umph.
I can see it on a t-shirt with the little apostrophe before the umph. Okay.
A punch away from Sheely, that's less than confirmed. Gomez in a tight spot, wiggles away. Gets the ball returned right back to him. Tracked down and fouled by Anthony Patti, and that's going to be a yellow every time.
Yeah, Rick Wright's going to be shaking his head again, picking up yellows at the end of the last 10 minutes of a 3-0 game. It's not exactly what you want to see from youngsters like Anthony Patti. Not a smart play.
Same breath, if you're going to give away a free kick, you might as well do it 45 yards from goal.
So I'll be okay with it in a 1-0 game when you're trying to hang on, but in a professional foul. Leo Castro still shoving people, throwing his weight around.
A little bit shocked we've not seen Rodrigo Robles yet.
Yeah, coming off an injury. He mentioned him, Rick Wright mentioned in preseason, so perhaps just being a little cautious. The way things have gone in these first 2 games, you wouldn't blame him. That's the advantage. Leo Castro wanted it, didn't get it.
Pascal Corvino, the notable injury early on, had to come off.
Yeah, we're not sure what that was. Almost walking around like it was almost a back thing because he was trying to sit up. I'm not a doctor though, so I'm not going to take a guess. We'll have a couple of weeks to recover if he doesn't take part in the cup game next week, obviously.
We'd hope that Ropapa Mensah might make his debut, at least in the game against Spokane, if not in the Open Cup. Right now, Greenville looking at goal. That was audacious, you might say.
Connor Evans looked up. We mentioned he can strike him from distance. Saw Russell Shealy a little off his line.
Yeah.
It's taken something special to beat him, though. Hopefully Russell Shealy has learned his lesson after the early mistake.
Just about all of them have gone in, so you can't really blame them for trying. Foul's given. Big takeaways from this game, if you were to write the headline.
Well, just the clinical finishing for Greenville, certainly the number one. Omaha have looked like a team with half a new team. There's been couple of bright moments, but certainly the second best in almost every area of this contest overall. It's some clinical finishing, right? It's one of those things you go through spurts where sometimes you can't hit the back of the net at all, and other times you find everything finds the back of the net. Some real quality tonight in that end of things from the home team.
Out of play, rendering a moment of opportunity maybe to get the debut for Ivan Ayakwa.
Yeah, great to see him coming on. The Englishman played his college ball here at Furman, had a bit of a shoulder injury coming into the season. He's over that now. He's a big physical boy, says Rick Wright. Ayakwa, left-footed. 65 games, 54 starts for Furman, 4 goals, 7 assists. Now he gets to play a bit of striker.
You have to love a good shirt tuck as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, doing his mom proud.
That's how it is written in the loss of the game. Got a John Philip Mateta type of look to him. Leading the line now. Amish. That's captivating. Ball in.
Well defended by DJ Batten. Got goal side there, took the brunt of the hit, but that was the positioning that led to that wayward header.
The center of the field and slanted wide to Aaron Gomez. Bodies arriving in the box.
Relatively quiet night for Gomez tonight. This will be 180 minutes for that Greenville back line with no goals allowed from open play.
True. Gallardel got the ball trapped up underneath his feet. Chapo Herrera, as always, jabbing and poking.
Rankenberg made a couple of sharp saves last week, nothing crazy, and really hasn't been tested much tonight other than coming for balls.
See if Omaha can't do something about that. If there has been any silver lining, the play of Kemi Amish has been pretty encouraging. His skill, showmanship.
He's got a little bit of something special, a little bit of flair, as most of the Frenchmen do.
Is this your personal experience?
So we've seen plenty of them come through the USL. Maybe the USL Championship more than League One, but obviously he's trying to play his trade here in League One as referee Lato trying to get to the end of this one without giving another card, but he's Struggling with that.
Amish.
There you go.
Right on cue. No nonsense. Great tackle from Tyler Pollock, who was in the Team of the Week last week. He's making a bid for this week as well. This one may have been somewhat personal to him. How things went against Union Omaha a year ago. It's 3 minutes of stoppage time. Amish. Bit aimless.
Yes, Don will take a look at this game when they get back to Omaha, try and find the positives from it. I think one of the big positives is you've got to look at these newcomers and see what you've got, at least in a full USL League One match for some of them.
Upcoming for Union Omaha beyond the Open Cup. You mentioned their match on Thursday, March 20th against Flatirons Rush. After that, it's a series of road games in the league at South Georgia Tormenta at the end of March, March 29th. Then to start April at Richmond Kickers. Again, another team that they knocked out of the postseason a year ago, similar to this Greenville side.
That was a tight match. That playoff match in the end. Omaha certainly could have lost that one to Richmond.
Really looks like Richmond have fielded quite the stout outfit after the at least first game against South Georgia Tormenta.
Played low, tiptoeing down the sideline. A little too far.
Ostrom toying with the ball, taking his chances.
Encouraging his teammates to get forward. Even up 3-0 with a minute to go. I think one thing, listen, Dom will take this, but plenty of, while 3-0 losses aren't great, there's obviously plenty to learn from games like this, even at this early stage of the season.
Again, this will feel so good to Greenville. Omaha, the only team to beat them 3 times last year. Not to mention the playoff defeat that ended their season. Revenge served cold today.
That sums up the night a little bit for Omaha. Bangs off Coleman and out of play. Joe Gallardo rubbing his head. A frustrating night for the men in white.
Somewhat of a stunner. Greenville goes off on Union Omaha. 3-0 the final score. Rick Wright able to secure his first victory against Dom Casciato and this group from Papillion.
Yeah, big win for Greenville. Now getting some time off before the cup match next week. Rick Wright will be much happier with this performance tonight than he was last week. Got the chances and took them superbly.
Statement made. The squad from South Carolina have come up and taken over the contest. 3-0 the final score. A final throw of 3 goals again. Ben Zakowski supplying one, a pair from Leo Castro. And those marks prove decisive. A clean sheet for Rick Wright and his squad. We'll continue to break it down when we come back. Post-game wrap-up and thoughts from this one between Greenville Triumph and Union Omaha when we return.
Every day, we get the privilege to serve you, sharing local stories on all your screens.
The first alert on breaking news sent through the Fox Carolina News app.
serving you with the earliest heads up on storms through the Fox Carolina First Alert weather app.
Live and on-demand newscasts.
Fox Carolina Investigations.
On your streaming TV.
Your stories told right here. Fox Carolina News.
I'm Rick Wright, head coach of the Greenville Triumph Soccer Club. The Triumph play here on Palmetto Sports and Entertainment.
Watch using antenna on channel 21.2 or on Spectrum 703. The Greenville Triumph play here. Palmetto Sports.
El Greenville Triumph y Liberty están orgullosos de asociarse con Telemundo Carolina del Sur. Vean Telemundo Carolina del Sur para mantenerte informado con noticias locales en español y disfrutar de toda la increíble programación de Telemundo. Disponible gratis con antena en el canal 31.1.
You've never been afraid to put in the work. The extra early, extra late, extra work. Because you understand that education is the key that unlocks everything. Better pay, better hours, better opportunities, a better you. And playing the lottery is no different. Getting educated before you play gives you the tools you need to be a better player, like knowing when to play and when to take a rain check. Visit sceducationlottery.com/betteryou to be a better player.
Greenville Triumph out of the blocks on the good foot. Unbeaten in their first two matches of the year. This was resounding. We break it down in the postgame. Peyton Gallagher with Ross Davenport and on hand for a thrashing in this one. Highlights of the match that was brought to you by GSP Airport and Greenville. Looked like they were getting barraged a bit early, but found a way forward. This was a bit of a gift, but a gilded finish.
Yeah, Rick Wright talked coming into the season and last season about getting more over the top. That was a direct ball. Castro, at the end of it, I think he must have looked up and thought it was his happy birthday because Russell Shealy was so far off his line with a quality finish by the veteran.
This required a little bit more venom, power. Ben Sikowski puts a hole in the upper 90 there. What a finish.
I hope that one gets some love for goal of the week because that wasn't an easy finish from Sikowski. Finished with a plum though.
Later on in the match, into the 47th minute, Union Omaha coming out of the dressing room, trying to find themselves, find their footing, and not allowing them up off the mat. What a ball that was. Sikowski and Castro.
Yeah, they've obviously been playing well this preseason and now taking it into the regular season. This ball, pace just beat Kalman completely. You can see what Castro thought of the delivery. And there are your final stats. The XG for Greenville only .71. They really took the half chances they got and put this one away.
That was what Rick Wright wanted. He wanted to see a little bit more final product, a little bit more clinicalness, and the stats kind of bear that picture.
Yeah, for sure. Other than the 9 corners for Omaha, which was an interesting one, Greenville dealt with them well. Solid at the back with the clean sheet again. Brandon Vicky, Zane Bubb leading the way, as well as Tyler Polak and DJ Benton in that back four.
Greenville able to laugh last and really make the first big impression of 2025 here today. They stone Union Omaha 3-0 on their home patch. It's a purple patch here in this one. Greenville get the results and move on in their season. USL League One regular season campaign in full swing. Folks, we appreciate you being with us. We will talk to you soon.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.